Okay, let's see if we can get Bishop in here now. Ah! When I tell you we have had a date, we had to jump out of the car, come into the office. But everybody, I want to welcome you to the Carfitable Talks. Claude's going to get in here somehow. I don't know how. We have an extremely incredible, wonderful guest, none other than Bishop Kenneth Wells. How are you doing, Bishop? This is a friend of ours, a man that is quite an authority on the gospel music industry, as well as being a bishop. And we're just going to talk to him about all the different things that he's doing. How are you, Bishop?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Hey, thank you, sis. Good to be here with you and Claude. Thank y'all so much for the invite.
Thank you. I want to read a little bit about you. Besides saying what I call Bishop Wells is he's a seeker. He's a seeker of truth. He's a seeker of constant information, and a man to definitely be respected. But I realized I didn't know a lot. I know you from radio, but I didn't know that much about your life otherwise. So I wanted to read this little bio thing I've got, and then we'll go from there. We've got Bishop Kenneth Wells is founder and current president of Gospel Industry Network, GIN. And it was founded in 2019, and you've been the president, and it's established to cultivate the mastery and appreciation and advancement of the contribution of gospel music to the gospel music industry. From the expressive skilled veterans of the past to the stalwarts of today, a bishop is working with them all. And also, I think when I met you, Bishop, you weren't bishop, but you are bishop of Spirit of Love Christian Church in San Bernardino, California, a Bible-based church. And where I met you as an announcer on KPRO 1570 AM. Everybody, let's welcome Bishop Kenneth Wells.
What's up, everybody? Thank you.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you all again for having me. God, wow. I follow the show all the time.
Oh, now it's coming down.
Well, like I said, today we're just trying to set up because we like to always be on time. But I don't know what we've got going today. So excuse me, everybody. We're trying to do a little makeshift here, and we don't. There we go. Okay, can you guys see me? Hi, D Maestro. Hi, you guys. And there's no air conditioning or anything in this room we're in, so it's all crazy.
And it's hot out here in California.
I wanted to know, is there an O in the beginning of your name?
Yes, Olson Wells.
Oh, I never knew that.
Olson Wells.
Okay, and so where did you get that from? Where are you from, California?
I'm actually from Florida. I was named after my father. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Olson Wells.
I'm slid right in on you, man.
So, okay, that's how you got. Well, tell us about your background, Bishop, because I didn't know you were from Florida. I've just always known you from radio, and of course, that's where the great Reverend Lacey was.
Yep.
On that station as well, and so that's how I got to know of you. But tell me where you started and got into radio and being a pastor and all that.
Yeah, well, I actually had a community choir. Pastor Chuck Singleton of the Loveland Church here in Fontana was my pastor, and I was the choir director at that church. And then I started directing a community choir, branched off and started my own community choir. Kenneth Wells, at the time it was Reverend Kenneth Wells and the Riverside Mass Choir. And we used to do Bobby Jones and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I know you did?
Yes, you did. Yeah, but not in that capacity. I was one of them persons that, I sure wish I could be on Gospel Centric's label. Yeah, so I was doing a concert, and Reverend Leroy Lacey picked up my flyer and started announcing the show and invited me to the station. And I went into the station and started looking at everything. And the next thing you know, he invited me again. He started letting me play around in the studio. The next thing you know, I'm doing radio. Reverend
Yeah, that
Leroy,
was my question. That's how you got into radio.
the late Reverend Leroy Lacy allowed me to come in and sit and cut up with him and play with the machines and stuff. And the next thing you know, I'm a radio personality. I'm over sales at the radio station. And that's how I got into it.
Wow.
Now, were
Yeah.
you a pastor at that time also?
Yes, I was a pastor then. I've been pastoring for, well, let me see. I've been pastoring for 26 years. So that was before that. So I became a pastor after.
Okay.
So I started doing radio first because I've been doing radio for 30 something years.
Wow.
Dirty.
That's crazy. But you've always been an advocate too but now I see why, for artists. And look, and we want to talk a little bit about your great wife as one of the originals from Car Singers and all of that. So why are you such an advocate? Why do you care so much?
Because I've seen, I'm actually in the trenches, so I see it, and I see the side of the artists, and then I see the side of radio, and I see everything that could be that is not, and I'm just like, man, if you see it and you don't try to do anything about it, then you're a part of the problem, as they say.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's just what I want to do. Is I just really want to make a difference, And I'm not from New York City or a major city. I'm out here in San Bernardino, California, which is outside of LA, and I'm just here paving the pavements, pounding the pavements and stuff, trying to make things happen, because I see a lot. And one thing, like my wife told me, she says, you have a gift to bring people together.
You do.
And that's what I just do that. And I've had to do that by keeping my nose clean and keeping a good reputation.
Yes.
So being in this organization for as long as I have, I've seen everything just like you have, and I just stay away from the dirty stuff,
Yeah.
And I just want to see gospel go to the next level. I want it to be a genre of music that will be respected, you know. And we've got a lot of work. We've got a lot of inner things that we need to do in-house.
Well, tell me about some of those.
Yeah, I was going to ask him.
Oh, Lord, God.
Yeah, we like to get into it around here.
Yeah, well, first of all, the Black church is the supporter of Black gospel music. And like you've seen the video, if you haven't seen the video, I just posted a video a couple of days ago called "The Church Hates Gospel Music," and we got to deal.
That's why I wanted to have you on after that. I said,
yeah. So we have to deal with the issue of what's going on in the African American church. First of all, we don't like each other. The pastors don't like each other. We can't have successful concerts if a certain church is having it. You'll see a literal boycott.
Oh.
And pastors will get up and say, "I don't want y'all going over there to such a thing."
Wow.
So
that's still going on.
They still doing that, Claude. It's crazy. And so we have a lot of we don't trust each other. We're not good in business. So until we can take care of a lot of that stuff, our music and our genre is gonna hurt. And the whole video concept was in Luke 14:26, Jesus told his disciples, in order to be my disciple, you got to hate your mother, father, brothers, sisters, and even your own life. And I had to research that because that always troubled me. But the word means to detest. In other words, translation means to love it less than me. So when I say that people hate gospel music or the church hates gospel music, it's not the hate that we think in the English, but it means that we love gospel music less than every other genre of music. Simply because we don't see the value of our music. we will not pay for it. And like I said, you guys got to go to this video, those of you who are watching. The same people that I see at concerts that I've paid maybe $200-300 for are the same people that won't buy a $10 ticket for a gospel event. But they'll go to every other genre of music, has a whole bunch of church folk in them.
You're right.
Oh,
If you go to a Lettucey concert, Kanye, no, we went on a Sunday in Nashville, and I saw everybody from church at the Lettucey concert.
That's right, did we?
And you know, I said that in the video that I paid $360. I'll never forget it. $363 for a good seat at a Lettucey concert because my wife loves Lettucey.
Yes.
You know, and I said I'll do the same thing for gospel. But first of all, I don't want to be the only one in there. And gospel has to learn how to entertain.
Right.
Amen. They say this is not entertainment, but the way I feel about it is, I just got out of church. Entertain me. Put on some clothes, razzle and dazzle me. I don't want you to, don't tell me this ministering and you just came off the street kind of look. Entertain me.
Absolutely. If I just paid $50 or $60 or $100 for a gospel concert, and if I decide that I just want to sit, enjoy the concert, I don't need the artist come fussing at me because I'm not standing up.
Thank you.
Y'all look like you don't want to have church and da-da-da. Look, we just paid to get in here. If you're anointed, we'll get with you. But we have to stop treating ticketed concerts. Yeah, we have to stop treating ticketed concerts like musicals.
Well, amen.
That's why people don't come to concerts, because while an artist is trying to make you bump, they'll spend 15 minutes trying to make you dance and shout. And I love to shout and dance. But if the people not getting with you, you got to move on. Because there's a whole lot of people that came to hear the concert and you trying to make people dance.
That's right. I want to hear my favorite songs. Claude and I just last week, I don't know if you saw it, but we went to go see Bruno Mars, Silk Sonic. So we saw Bruno Mars.
I love him.
Anderson .Paak.
I love him.
And we paid more than anybody, $300-400.
But let me tell you, did you get your money's worth?
What did you say?
Did you get your money's worth?
Oh, yes, I did.
Yes, that was my point. So there's a difference between when I go to church, I'm going for church. If I go to a concert, I'm going for a concert. Now, you got to navigate that line, but I'm going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, what does it mean then? I've always wondered what this meant, because my background is Catholic. So is Claude's actually. Yeah, really. So when I go to a concert and they say, let's have church, what do they say exactly?
Well, I think they're just, to me, it's just like, let's just express, let's clap, let's get involved. Let's just get involved. That's what that would be to me, Yeah. But there's a lot of unchurched folk that come, and then
that's right.
There's a lot of churches that the Methodists don't worship the way the Pentecostals do.
That's right.
So it's kind of like if you got a whole bunch of Methodists, and you can go to some churches and they're enjoying you and they're not moving. But when you get through, they'll clap, right. and they're the ones that's going to give you a good love offering. That's right.
I think we have to learn this. This is one of the kind of things we did, like with Dorinda Clark Cole, for example, where we had dress changes and things like that. I don't think it was worldly or anything. I think it's fun. It's a concert. We're giving you an alternative to some of the other things that are out there. Yeah. And I think you're right about that.
There's nothing wrong with bringing fashion in. My wife is going on her 7th year hosting the Prestige Awards out of San Diego. And the reason that they have her is because she does outfit changes, and they want to see what she has, so it's okay to do that,
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, I'm looking real chocolate now.
Using the term, let's have church, it could mean a couple of things. People, trying to encourage people to have, if you want to say sanctified fun, I've heard that term. But generally, it's
Hey, Joyce.
okay to encourage the audience because they do it in secular, places too. They say, "Come on, you guys." I don't hear anybody standing up and things like that, and or nobody saying anything. So they do try and encourage the crowd, and it's just finding that right, navigate that balance. When it's a Christian concert versus a secular concert.
Well, what do you
Yeah.
think about this then when they say, I didn't come to entertain you? I, I, what do you
It's
think about that? When you get in it, and you
it's
especially
it's
take
a
money,
it's
they said, I didn't come to entertain you.
it's an ignorant person, sis. That's an
Very,
ignorant
very
person that
controversial, but I hear you.
yeah, it's an ignorant person that doesn't know their position and what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Do your job, minister. That's what the people bought you for. There's a very popular female artist that I think she really hurt herself back in the day when she would say, I'm a minister first. And she talked to do all. I mean, I've seen people walk out of her concerts because she talked so much. Very popular gospel artist that talked. She talked too much, and I heard somebody start cussing. Because she was talking so much, and me and my wife were sitting there going like, "Oh my God!" And it was like she would sing. Her contract even says that she'll do more talking than singing.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. When I go to a concert, I want just that, and I want to hear my songs, like Michael Jackson said, and I want you to sing it first the way I know it, because
Yeah,
I'm singing along with you, and I know the intonations and all that better than you do.
yeah,
After that, you can go and I used to tell my artists, you can go and do everything else you want to do. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't have a problem with ministry, but I want to hear my song
yeah.
because it helps me every day, and I want to sing with you.
Yeah. I have a problem if you have a 30-minute set and I only got 3 songs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
A 30-minute set and there's only 3 songs. That's crazy. And you artists that are watching, y'all need to stop that. That's not fair to the people that come to hear you.
That's right.
We want to hear the music. The other thing that I was going to say about us, you remember back in the day when Carmen did his national tour?
Yes.
And he was going to auditoriums.
Yes, he was.
Free of charge.
Yeah.
And them white people would raise tens of thousands of dollars.
I remember very well.
Okay. But I don't know a gospel artist that could pull that off because of us.
Right. Because of the value that we put on it.
Yeah. Yeah, because of us. And I went to a concert here. It was the West Coast Spirit. Of course, it was the white people. And Mandiza, she opened up because we didn't want her in gospel. And they took her and used her as an opening act. And I thought that was kind of shameful too, But it was a Friday at 4 o'clock.
At 4?
At 4 o'clock on a Friday at an auditorium. I went just to be nosy and take notes. And I thought if I'd have tried to have a gospel concert, and it was a ticketed concert, and I watched white people dragging their kids out of the vans, and all those tickets, it wasn't no kids' prices or nothing. It was one set price. And I saw them people come as a family, pay full price. At 10 minutes after 4, they made an announcement after Mandiza opened up that the computers had showed that the house was packed.
Sold out.
Now try to have a 4 o'clock concert on a Friday with us, and they will say, "What's wrong with them?" We gotta work.
But what? I don't know. On a positive note, if there is one, what can we do about it? What are we gonna do?
The only thing
Franklin and Maverick City are going on concert. I'm sure that's going to be very well received.
Yeah, I believe it will too. I believe too. Yeah, I believe it's gonna start. And I was thinking about the only thing I could think of is, like I said in the video, we got to do like the automobile industry, we have to just start pushing people into things, you know, start having your concerts Saturdays at 5 o'clock or something like that. You know, you just have to do it if they want it. You know, I just had a concert 2 weeks ago with John P. Key. It was the first concert I've had in 20 years.
He was in
Ticketed.
Riverside. I missed it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, $20. I'm on a Thursday at 7 p.m. ticketed. I sold my general ticket for 40, premium 55, VIP 70. The place had over 1,000 people on a Thursday. I
Wow.
started at 7 on the nose.
Thank you.
And it was a
I had known. I guess I forgot about. I love John P. Key.
Yes.
Oh, he was amazing. And he did a 2-hour set, and those people did not move.
I can believe, but how many artists do we have like that now? Some of the old school, yes, it's still Kirk Franklin, it's still John P. Key, but we do have Maverick City now. We have Jonathan McReynolds, but I don't know, maybe I'm just missing it because maybe I'm out of it a little bit. How many people can do that?
Well, it's not that many.
Yes.
You know, because my area is excited. They wanted to do another concert. Who you bringing next? And I'm thinking like, okay, who am I going to get that's going to get everybody?
Right.
It's not that many, you know. Then I have to make sure. And all you promoters, don't accept concerts that are out of your reach.
Mm.
You know, I had to tell John's people, they worked with me. I said, look, I'm not LA. This is the Inland Empire, and this is a Thursday. So I'm not doing this just to help you, but I want to get helped too, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah. So I told them, I said, I'm comfortable with this price because this is the price that I can guarantee you. You know, and when John got off that bus, I had his money.
Amen.
You know,
and people can respect that. Some people play around, but you're right. They're hoping they can get it from the ticket sale. They don't have a guarantee.
Yeah. As a promoter, you have to know your area, and you have to be honest and tell the promoter that I can't do this, but this is what I can do. And right now, we coming out of pandemic. Believe me, they're gonna take it.
Yep. It's I don't know. Like I said, I do have some hope. I'm seeing now the hip hop guys have their things, the faith-based hip hop, and that's a whole.
Oh yeah, they got a whole different circuit going on.
Yeah,
you know,
like there's this young kid. I've been working with him a little bit, but his name is 1K Few. He comes out of the Lecrae camp, and they're doing it. But what do you think about the music? Because it seems like traditional church music, other than the John P. Keys and stuff, you're not been hearing it that much. Is it dying out? I mean, what's going on? But Maverick City isn't a traditional gospel music.
Yeah. There are a lot of great traditional or kind of church sound. You know, like Norm Hutchins has made a commitment. He's got a new label. And he's made a commitment that he'll only do the church sound, stuff that you can sing on Sunday mornings. So it's out there, but major radio stations aren't giving them an opportunity. So if people want really good church music, you need to kind of research the internet. You know, I stay on YouTube looking for different, you know, sounds and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then we have Gen affiliates all over the country.
Gen is your organization. Tell us a little bit about that so they know what it is. We're not talking about gin you drink, folks.
Look, and I did that on
some church folks. We got folks that aren't church folks because we talk about everything over here.
Right. GIN, Gospel Industry Network. Okay. If you're familiar with the Gospel Announcers Guild, you kind of will be familiar with what the GIN is. But the GIN is actually going a little further and doing campaigns for our music, you know, pushing different artists and all that. We have 70 affiliates across the country, including London and the Bahamas, Canada, and Africa. So we're coming together. We're looking for independent artists, pushing them,
So how do
developing.
we reach you? And it's a great place to get further education. We also support the Gospel Announcers Guild. But how do they reach you in particular? Your organization to be
we
a
have a
part.
website. It's called the Gen, THEGIN.org.
Okay.
thegen.org, and just contact us through that, and we do respond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get a little deeper, and I'm
Can
getting.
I ask a question real quick about, so the affiliates, are they all associated with radio stations, or how do you in those
Yeah,
areas?
I'm glad you asked. Okay, so we do have radio stations and radio personalities. For instance, Tracy Bethay from iHeart she's over our Memphis gen. Sheila Bell is on Radio 1. She's over our Richmond gen. But what we require is that the leader is a person of influence, or to be a part, because sometimes a person that has influence in a community is not necessarily radio.
That's right.
You know, because some
interest in faith-based music and be an influencer.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what the requirements are.
Richard McNichols asked the question. He asked, is streaming hurting radio?
Yeah, I mean, in a point, yes, it is, because we need people to come back to radio so that they can know what's going on. And I will say this, especially for local radio, and internet radio is really picking up. Be involved in your community, because people are going to always want to know what's going on in their community. So is local radio always going to be essential? Yes. Okay. So we need to pull people back to the radio, but just make sure that you're giving people things that are going on in their community,
in their local area.
In their local,
what will make
because
them.
Local artists still want their names to be said over the radio. They still want their songs to be heard, and you won't get that on a Radio 1 or an iHeart, or a syndicated radio. So you need to support your local radio stations. Most definitely.
Got to kind of do both, though, because you've got to create a community to get your music out there online, no doubt. So you need them both, I guess you would say.
Yeah, but you do. You do. You got to learn how to get your music registered and all that kind of stuff, because from what I understand, this is how a lot of artists are getting paid now, is through streaming.
That's right.
And we're fighting to get CDs back in. We some kind of way.
That's over.
I know it. I know, Vicki, but it's just like we're trying to put something together. We're trying to put something together, because there still is a community that likes CDs. My daughter is on watching right now. She's 36, and she says she still likes to read the back of CD covers.
Yes.
Yeah, there's something about that. I mean, they said that CD sales have flattened out, but I think we're
gonna try anyway.
Yeah, streaming has taken over.
Just a quick question, though. Do you think that the number of gospel radio the number of gospel radio stations are shrinking in number, and that you have less 24-hour stations and more, like what I call, where they rent out, 2 or 3 hours.
Brokers and all that kind of stuff.
What's happening with the gospel radio industry in that regard?
Well, Hezekiah Walker, Bishop Hezekiah Walker, just posted that after all these years, last week was his last week, because they sold the station.
Oh my gosh, WLIB. So that's why Liz Black.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
All of that. Yeah, they sold the station.
So WLIB in New York is gone.
Whatever station that was that Hezzy was on, he posted it, and I posted it too. I shared the post.
So I did not realize that. Had been sold.
Yeah. So it was either sold or the format changed. But whatever it is, there's no more gospel.
Right.
And
I guess the question is, we don't own, when I say we, I mean those who
African
have an
Americans.
interest in the genre
Yeah.
have owned a lot of gospel stations. Vis-a-vis Christian stations. You have a lot of Christian stations, and they're really powered and driven by Christian network. And we don't have a similar kind of, if you would say, network of radio stations that are driven and supported by this genre.
Yeah. Well, and it's because they don't see the value of it. Even in LA, with all the churches that we have, and we love gospel music, there's 4 bishops, and you know,
Well,
you know where I'm going with this.
yeah,
Yeah.
If they were to come together and buy a station, we'd be all right. And
But you
it
know
wouldn't
what?
even hurt their pockets.
But you know what? These bishops that we've got, for example, in LA, they're starting to retire. So it's gonna have to be
yeah, they're retiring.
the next group.
Well, we can have some conversations with them, you know, and that would have to be
I
you, me, and some other people to show them the value. But it's hurting our community because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. It's true. It's quite a quandary, but I want to go even deeper and get a little messy, of course. You know, I love doing that, but I'm concerned, Bishop, about concerts, grocery stores, hospitals. Folks are shooting up everything. And it's getting to the point where they're talking about constructing schools differently, and you know, are we going to have to barricade our churches? And I'm serious. Let me tell you, when we went to the Silk Sonic concert in Vegas, I had low shoes on and my tennis shoes in my purse in case I needed to run. I did not want to be caught.
And I was in
I,
my tennis shoes, so I was ready.
I mean, I'm thinking that I'm prayed up, praying. Seriously.
But
What say you about
how
all of this?
concerned are you? Yes.
yeah.
How's that changed the landscape for concerts, for anywhere we're going? It's scary.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, at the John P. Key concert, I had a police officer standing right at the bottom of the stage with his badge and his gun showing.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
He was right there, you know, just to bring a comfort to the people. You know, even in my local church, we packing.
Yeah, we packing in our church.
we packing. We ready because it's crazy like that. So you can't let strange people come up to your congregation. I don't even let people come in off the street that look crazy use our bathrooms because they'll snatch your kids.
What?
Wait, Bishop, like, back up. Are you saying people are going to churches and and going in the bathroom and they could snatch your kids? Is that what I just heard you say?
that is from an actual incident.
Yes.
You know, that was an actual incident where a person came in, went to the bathroom, and on his way out, grabbed the kid, and I believe the kid ended up. They found him dead.
What?
Yes. This was on television. So I'm like, this is crazy. So we don't let people in. You gotta watch. You know, we're not trying to be rude, but you just can't come in and use our bathrooms and stuff. You know, it's a different day, like you said.
It's different, yes.
I'm sorry, you just put me in shock because now I'm thinking, you know, as kids in the church, we always used to let them go together to go to the bathroom while we're listening to service. I'm gonna have to change that up.
You assume it's a safe environment, but if you let predators and people come in, then that breaks that assumption.
Yeah. So it's a different world now.
Wow, I'm glad you're bringing this to my attention. I mean, it shows how much we need to pray and be alert and do. I know some people now have gun, what do you call them? The surveyors as you go into the main sanctuary. What do you call it? Gun detectors.
Yeah, metal detectors. Yeah.
Going to a church.
Yeah, you have to, you know.
Well, you have to be very observant in terms of who's coming in. And the good thing now is that, we're still in somewhat pandemic mode, and a lot of people are not coming to person-to-person services. They're doing a lot of online, but still a lot of people are coming in. You got to watch what's going on.
So how are you handling all that? How did you do with COVID and all that?
Well, we're back in service, and we still have the mandatory mask.
Okay.
We still not hugging and kissing and all that. I'm just glad to see my people, at church.
Yeah.
But we still are not at full capacity. We
Right.
still have some that have not, and then they hit and miss and all that kind of stuff, because we made church, the production on streaming, we made it so good that they feel like, I'll eat my bowl of cereal and go to church,
Yeah,
and they know
being
that.
with people. I do miss being around people a little bit.
Right, you can't forsake the fellowship.
But I do like
Absolutely. 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 Now, I don't agree with it. I don't agree. I still feel that people need to come back to church. Even when you watch TD Jakes, and Jakes is getting up telling people, okay, y'all know the doors are back open, and his whole sides are still empty.
Yeah, right. And there's social distancing.
I gotta tell you, I can get 3 of. We always start with my church, which is Faithful Central. But after that, I turn on TD and get one other one in, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah, you do.
And we make sure to pay our tithes and do all that, and we do offerings. But I must say, Pastor, I do enjoy that. But what are we gonna do? I know you probably don't have the answer, but like this week in Oklahoma, somebody went into a hospital.
Yeah, I saw that. 4 people dead. Yeah,
right.
I saw that.
It turns out that the killer went in to kill the doctor that had operated on him. That was the motivation. And he had back pains. He was still hurting, paining, and I don't know how they didn't sort it out. Maybe, I don't know, but he went there.
Did he kill himself?
No, it was self-inflicted.
Yeah, he shot himself.
He killed himself.
He shot the doctor too. The doctor was one of the victims.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
So people are angry and upset, and they think that the way to resolve it is to get a gun, and it was, semi-automatic, go in there and kill people.
Yeah, it's like AR-15.
That to me is
we got to do something about
it. It says our country is getting to a place where people feel that when I'm really upset, this is how I sort it out.
Yeah.
Even heard TD Jakes on Sunday say, what is happening to my country? And I feel the same way. What is happening to the country? In some ways, I think maybe the chickens have come home to roost. I don't know. But as Christians, and even as Christians, we're not together. We've got the ones that is such a political thing.
Right.
I think somebody says another shooting today in Racine, Wisconsin at a cemetery.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't hear about that.
I didn't hear about that.
I'll have to go on CNN and check it out.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
See,
what are we supposed to do?
And they're arguing and won't even come to grips. That's why I said we're deadlocked, that we can't deal with. I said we, Congress can't even deal with real issues.
Yeah.
They just go and, against each other, where you can just come together. And all people are asking is a ban on military assault weapons.
Yeah.
We're not talking about gun control, just this, and they can't agree on that.
Yeah. And what's scary is when our politicians tell us blatantly, this will not be the last one. I've heard them say that.
Yeah, right. And which means that get used to it. Is that what they say?
That's basically
what they're saying. And this will not.
Or they blame it on something else.
And especially if you're not willing to change the gun laws, is basically what they're saying. This is not going to be the last one. But, on the spiritual realm, we know that I think we have a sin problem. Our nation is a nation that has forsaken God. And when you forsake God, God uncovers you.
And also, I think we've redefined God to be something that God is not.
Absolutely.
It's really crazy.
Yes, I
what
mean,
the future may hold. Some Joyce Logan just said that Biden's on TV right now talking. What is he's talking about? Gun control. And D. Maestro's talking about divisions amongst the church. Yeah, Bishop brought that up.
right. See well, not see, but basically, you know, the Old Testament prophet said that against Israel. He says, "You guys call yourself worshiping me, but you ain't living the life. You ain't doing the things that I said you do." And
You
so
worship me
we
with your
call it
mouth.
Christian nation, but you know, a white Christian will hate a black Christian.
And a
You
black
know,
Christian
and
will
we
hate a
don't,
white Christian.
and we have
Right.
no passion for people that are hurting and in need, and we call ourselves Christian, and and God says you're not representing me.
Right.
In these
Against
situations.
abortion, but as soon as the little black boy gets old enough, you're gonna shoot him dead. You know,
Right. Right.
it's just like, I don't know. You remember that song that Tremaine used to sing, "What Shall I Do"? It was written by Quincy Fielding.
Yeah.
I feel that song so much right now. What shall I do? What move shall I make? Oh Lord, I'm counting on you. I'm hearing that song in my head these days.
Yeah.
Just to say,
Yes.
Lord, what shall I do? And we're dealing with these other issues like abortion right now, and men and women's relationships, and trans issues. I don't know if I even want to get into trans issues.
But you know what? We have to talk about that, especially in the church. I was so disappointed to hear. I always listen to K-Wave, and they said that there are pastors that are saying, and they're supposed to be Bible teachers, that they're on the fence. You know, and the church, we can't be on the fence. We're not confused. We know what the word says.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
See, the thing is, you have to navigate. You know, and I don't want to use that phrase. You know, love the person, hate the sin. But we don't have passion towards people in those situations.
Right.
And so you can't give them truth, and what you have to do, say, hey, this is what
Yeah.
you said.
Well,
And
what's funny to me is gospel music. We say we hate this and we hate that. We know doggone well many of our choirs and many of our major choir leaders are gay.
We've had
And
our own LGBT community for years.
Yes, and we don't want to really talk about it.
Right.
And we don't want to come with any kind of love either, and we want to skip it under
but then
rug.
here, this is the if you want to say the thing against the church. I remember years ago in Miami, or must have been Miami, and some people went into this gay bar and killed a bunch of gay folks. Remember that? Well, one of the attendees in that gay bar belonged to a Christian church and was in the choir. And so when he asked to do the funeral at the church, they wouldn't even do the funeral for the brother at the church. And to me, I'm saying, like, why? Why?
I don't get that.
So, in other words,
that doesn't show any kind of love. Now all of a sudden you're gonna.
Well, I'm not acknowledging his lifestyle.
I guess that's controversial.
Right. So I'm saying, like, why say no to, like,
if he was a member of the church.
He was a member of the church.
And in the choir.
So you didn't deal with it when he was alive.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna do this.
And say,
it was a great opportunity for them to minister to people.
That's what I'm saying. We give up those opportunities.
Just as we fail to acknowledge the pastors and preachers who are whoremongers.
We deal with them too.
But on the other hand,
we have to address that.
We've got to start addressing more of it all. But I'm gonna change it to a little bit more fun topic. Y'all like what we're talking about? I don't know. But
well, yeah, I mean, we have to deal with this issue. It's probably another show, but we got to talk about it because what's happening is if we don't deal with the sin problem, our young, especially I had a community choir.
Yes,
I saw young people who came to the choirs and stuff, and they end up getting turned out in church and never come out of it.
See,
and we need to deal with this.
That's real.
Yeah, we need to talk about
it. And at the same time, let's just kind of give you just a real quick testimony because Vicky wants to switch subject. Because I used to go to the prisons at the Hall of Justice. You might be filming in LA. We go do prison ministry. And then right after I got sick, so I was doing that. And then we went one day and I was late and the lights were out. And I said, I didn't know this floor was bisexual. And so when they turned the lights on after they were showing the film.
By bisexual, you mean you didn't know if they were men and women?
Really, yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's different from saying bisexual.
Well, I should have used the wrong term.
Use these terms right. Male and female co-ed.
I didn't think this was right. Thank you. I didn't realize this was a co-ed floor. Let me put it that way. Thank you. And so when they turned the lights on, and I said, well, what's going on here? And so they had asked me to minister to this couple, and I said, okay, I did. But coming out of that, I asked the question because I had a lot of.
It was all men.
But I had a lot of stuff from being raised, in terms of how I looked at gays and stuff like that. And it wasn't until, about a couple of years later, Lord took me through some things where we were going to the jail and we ministered. They only let the gay floor out every Sunday for a whole year. And that's all we ministered to. And then I saw them get saved and
glory to God
right there. And it was a thing where it wasn't like you close your eyes and no, they would get jeered and talked and heckled during that time. And I realized, that God doesn't care.
Yeah.
And that you really
He
have
says, whosoever will.
And you really have to believe that the gospel is the power of God unto salvation to whosoever. And I had to learn that.
Yeah.
I had to learn that whole thing. I learned a lot of other things too, but we can talk about that because, I had to grow in a way of compassion, understand. I need to have a compassion for them, but at the same time understand that there's some things that they have to be accountable to and understand.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to have you're going to have to come back because we got on some real hot topics.
Yeah.
People want you to come back. I want to get on a couple of fun things. And our thing is, we love and invite everybody to be a part of this conversation. We don't care if you save, gun save, gay, straight, whatever. Come on our channel and let's talk about it on Carfitable Talks. And Pat,
I got one for you, Vicky.
Huh?
What y'all think about the DL Hughley and Monique squad?
Yes, let's talk about that. Okay. Before we get up,
does that happen in gospel? Do we fight over headliners?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
And you know what I used to tell
what you tell them, baby?
I used to tell our artists, I'd say, you go on whenever they tell you to go on, and you stay within your time, but you make it hard for anybody else to come
Absolutely.
up. You come with that full anointing. You do your job and make, I don't care if there's 2 people in that audience, you make sure they never forget you.
Right.
And I learned that from Tremaine Hawkins. Tremaine Hawkins would say, oh, baby, you want me to come on before so-and-so and so? They say yes. That woman would bend back.
I know she did.
She would change that place. And when the next person came up, people would be walking out. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I think Monique, it sounds like, from what I can tell, I do not agree with her. You go on whenever that promoter asks you to go on, as long as your money's straight. You don't worry if you're opening or closing. You make sure they remember you.
She doesn't have a good manager, or maybe she's not being managed at all.
No, I think it's just how she is. So now the thing is, DL is saying he doesn't want to. This is such a good show. I'm glad you brought it up. He doesn't want to work with her now. And Monique's just gone through that before. So now what happens in her case, she looks awfully difficult.
She does.
Okay, let me ask you this, Bishop. She said, see, I can't confirm these things. She said that it was in the contract that she would be headliner. Let me say, I get that. And so DL usually said, I don't care what's in the contract, I want this to happen. And the promoter understand what he said. I get that. So the thing is, she didn't handle it correctly.
She didn't.
how she
She didn't.
responded to that. If she got her headliner money, and she should have went on or dealt with it offline with the promoter and with the to get her stuff together. But
Yeah.
DL is drawn to come in and just change the contract on. So
Well,
I mean,
he-
I don't know what happened, but I
don't know. But I'm just saying you can't have it your way and say, well, she just didn't act right. But you did something that wasn't right either.
But I think that a lot of times for promoters, and you tell me if this is right, especially if you're doing faith-based, the mood and stuff can change in the midst of things.
Yeah.
And so right then and there, sometimes things will change. I mean, with D.L. Hughley and Monique, yeah, I could see that because there's equity. If it's Dave Chappelle, I want to see Dave Chappelle last. But if it's someone where there's equity, sometimes the promoter sees things and it changes. But somebody says he isn't the promoter.
Yeah, he isn't.
Well, who changed it? Was it D.L. Hughley that changed it, or the promoter?
The contract wasn't changed. D.L. Hughley said, I change that. Talk to the promoter.
Yeah, they said that he said that I'm not gonna go out if if I have to go first. So
Right,
I don't know. They
so
came out with
that's
different.
not right either.
So but she didn't. She just shows her class in terms of how she dealt with that.
Yeah,
she was just totally wrong to come out. I wouldn't have even wanted to listen to her after she went off.
The way she was said, I would have got up and left.
Yeah, I mean, if you all heard,
DL posted his contract and it said he was the headliner. So it sounds like a problem with the promoter.
And that's what they said. They said
both they were headliners.
Yeah, they said that the promoter was playing them.
Was playing the situation.
That's what it sounds like to me. But still, and this is what we're trying to get across, even in relationships, male and female relationships. Have some class about yourself.
Yeah,
everything's not for everybody.
I was
go back and talk to the promoter about that.
Yeah. And you know what I saw? I saw the spirit of pride all over Monique.
I have to give that.
I was just like, what a proudful person. You know, she said, I've been over 30 years, but DL has been 37 years.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I told her, I said, you should have went out there and killed it, like Vicky
exactly
said. Killed it.
Yeah, make it hard for him to get on the
you
stage.
still come out and get people say, man, I'm ready to go. I got my fill. So it's up to she didn't handle it right.
You have to be so careful because I've been at concerts of mine with Kirk Franklin, Kirk Hart, somebody like that, and I'm supposed to go backstage, and they go, "Who are you? You can't get in here. You cannot." They go, "Do you know who I am?" And stuff like that.
Right.
Somebody else might do it for you, but you can't.
But you really shut it down.
Well, yeah, I did tell somebody I'll shut this down. I did say that one, but you have to have class about yourself,
right?
And in the way you conduct yourself and handle so many things that you're doing. You said, and her husband gives her unwise advice. That's from positive people.
Yeah.
Unwise.
I totally agree with that because if she had a husband that was kind of coaching her, she'd be a little more level-headed.
Well, let me say this. I don't necessarily believe in husband managers. It just depends. But I know one thing. If Claude tells me that this isn't right or like that, I will stop immediately. Because I'm like, this brother's got my back. We're one thing trying to do it. If he says and he's told me that on occasion, just and I'll just come to myself because he doesn't say that much like that. But if he does, then I know that.
Right. At the end of the day,
hey friend.
At the end of the day, like you were saying, or whoever commented, you got to give good advice. You just and
advice, but you should know that for yourself.
And
you can't rant for 15 minutes of your concert like that. That's
nobody wants to hear that.
I couldn't believe it.
People go to get away from their problems and to get hope.
Your mess. I'm not trying to get into your
mess. So that's how I feel about that. But Pastor, we ask everybody, and I don't know if you're ready for this, but what kind of fragrance do you wear?
I got a whole bunch of them.
Well, tell me
Wow.
about some of
Okay.
them.
Oh
Oh, you're
man,
a collector, huh?
I'm gonna tell you though, I fell in love with this one fragrance because it was the cologne that Edwin Hawkins wore all the time.
What was that?
Paul Sebastian.
Oh, I
Oh,
never
I've heard
It
that.
was the only cologne that he wore.
really.
It was the
Okay.
only cologne, and
Now I've heard. Yes.
I
That's old
love Paul
school.
Sebastian. I loved it before, and I only recognized it. I went up to hug him, and I smelled him. I said, "Is that Paul Sebastian?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "That's the only thing I wear."
Wow.
So from that day forward, I like always keep a thing of Paul Sebastian.
What are some of the other perfumes colognes that you have?
Colognes.
Yeah,
I love one. I love an old time one called Joop, Joop.
I know that.
J-O-O. Yep. I'm
It's
familiar.
orange. Is it an orange spot?
Yeah,
Orange?
it's like in a pinkish,
Yeah.
kind of like bottle,
Yep.
dark pink.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Okay.
and I like the old fragrances, Cool Water,
Okay.
and
What about Lagerfeld? Or
Paul Lagerfeld.
yeah, the
Pardon.
You say
Lagerfeld.
Lagerfeld? I love Lagerfeld.
Okay.
That's one of my
Old
favorites
school
too.
spirit.
It's old school. No.
Yeah.
But I
I don't know
gotta
nothing
mention some new ones.
She
Are
got
you wearing any new ones? Or you're a vintage person, huh?
Well, I have a Sean John that I like. It's new, and a Versace. I like that one. What's another one that yeah, but all my good ones like Polo and Gray Flannel and all those. I still wear all those old colognes.
Okay, so you're
Oh,
a
okay.
vintage. You're a
Okay.
vintage person.
So yeah, you got a
Yeah.
wide range of tastes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
bought into some of the new ones. So today, I'm wearing.
Oh, my daughter said, "Dad, don't you wear Tommy Hilfiger?" Yes, I wear a lot. I have a section of nothing but Tommy Hilfiger clothes.
Really?
Oh, close. Oh, and
Okay.
colognes too. I guess.
Yeah, his colognes. I have like maybe 30, 40 pair of Tommy Hilfiger shoes, dressy.
What?
I have his suits, his shirts, his ties. I love
Okay.
Tommy Hilfiger.
He said, "What?" Richard says, "What about Old Spice?"
No,
No.
Richard. Absolutely not.
That's for showers, man.
I remember back in the day, though, I loved me some Old Spice. But you know what? We're getting past time, so you got to promise to come back. We're going to talk about some more subjects that a lot of people. Yeah, because we just hit the.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need these mega pastors to stop having all these free concerts. We're gonna talk about that later.
Mega pastors doing what?
These mega pastors having these major artists for free.
Okay. That is right.
That's something that we got to talk about because that's hurting the mentality. There's no value. These people can go, like the concerts that they have at West Angeles and, at your church, these are concerts that should be ticketed, but because they're free, people don't feel like they should ever pay for gospel because they get it free.
Oh, okay. So I thought you said the church paid it for. Well, so because I said our church pays for it, but
the church does pay for it, but the members get the benefits. Therefore, they don't see any value in ever paying for gospel concerts because they get to see all the headliners at their church for free.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a good point to discuss. Yeah.
We need to.
And may even be one where we need to bring Bishop Ulmer and Clarence McClendon and all them in, get their thoughts. We can't tell them what to do, but it's hurting the industry. It really is.
Right. It's
yes.
We've got
What shall I
something
do?
to talk about. Because some churches aren't set up for ticketed events, and so you really can't do it at the church. It's not really set up, and so yes, that's. Yeah, it's difficult to set up like that.
Bishop, people are saying that this is eternalized.
Oh, that's Tina Carter out of San Francisco.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
So we're having our now. Listen, although our organization is new, all of us have been in the industry for over 30 years or more. Yeah. So it's not like we're a new organization, But we're having our first conference in Miami, July the 17th through the 21st. And I tell you, we have some great topics. We're even introducing the metaverse.
All right.
we're getting ready to get in that because that's where the church is going to virtual church. Concerts are being virtual, and we want to be on top of that. Late, my wife is on, Vicky.
Hey, Sean, how you doing, girl?
Let me see.
Oh, she said show pictures of the wall behind. I don't even know what what is.
Oh, his wall.
Oh,
His wall.
she's
Oh,
talking
show
about.
pictures.
She's talking about the gospel centrics wall.
Oh my gosh!
The Kurt
Oh
Carr.
my
That's Kurt
gosh!
Carr.
Wow.
That's when they were over in
and
Europe.
your wife, if you talk about somebody that can shut it down, she doesn't have to tell you to stand up or nothing. She's so pretty and sophisticated looking, but then she sings like an old church woman. She will shut it down. All beautiful stuff and will just go there. I love it.
She just signed with Norm Hutchins.
Oh, that is excellent.
Okay.
That is excellent.
So she's got something coming out, but we would love to have our legends in Miami come and oh, hey, Sydney Scott, come and hang out with us, and any topics that you may have, but you all come out, and this is what we promise: you're going to get your money's worth, and you'll get to enjoy the city because we don't have any night concerts. We're coming there to take care of industry business.
Okay.
So, and we're on the water. We're staying at the bay in South Florida, the DoubleTree on Biscayne Bay.
Okay, so it's right before the Stellars, so you can go from the Stellars right on to Florida, huh?
And that's what a lot of people that are in the industry, they're coming straight. They're coming straight there on Sunday. We start Sunday and we go to Wednesday. So people are leaving
so
Thursday.
You can go from the Stellars, which is in Atlanta, and then go right on to Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And you just talk about all kinds of industry business. So
you got workshops. You'll have workshops.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And it won't be the regular, how to get my music played. Okay. If you don't know that by now,
right.
Okay. We'll probably touch a little bit on it, but there's other things that's going on.
Right. Yeah,
and I'm sure that there's things that that's going on in the industry.
There's a lot going on. And I don't know if you know, but Bryant Scott, I have to mention this every time. There's a very important exclusive organization called the CMPA, Christian Music Publishers Association. Church. That's right. Church Publishers Association. But anyway, this organization has lobbyists and goes to Congress and meets with all the big wigs and all that. Okay, Clyde and I were the first Black people invited to be a part of this organization because there is a strict criteria, right? And the organization's almost 100 years old. So we invited Ty Scott to be a part. We love them. They meet the criteria. And for the first time in almost 100 years, in their history, we will have a Black man that's the president of the organization, and that's Bryant Scott from Ty Scott.
What?
This year. And it's a big thing. I cried. I couldn't help it. I just cried when he got inducted in. It's most people aren't even involved in this, and our very own Bryant Scott is the president, and you should try to get him
involved in your organization as well too.
Yeah.
Well, we have a meeting this coming Monday with you and Brian Scott and some other people.
Well,
so
he is the highest ranking Black person in an organization like that.
Right. So as president of this organization, he should go to. They have an annual president's meeting with all the presidents of a lot of different organizations, and so as president of this organization, he should be able to go to. So we'll talk about that. But next week, one of the head of our, I guess he's really of the Action Fund, which is the lobbying portion. When I say lobby, in other words, they go and advocate for benefits for gospel music.
Yes, these are the key people that make the difference.
He's going to be on our show next week, and they're primarily focused on songwriters, publishers, and that sort of stuff, print and things like that. So we'll be talking about what's currently going on in that area,
Right.
in
And what the
terms of
laws are.
laws and stuff like that in Congress.
He's a wonderful man.
And great, love.
Who's Don Kaysen?
Yeah, Don.
His
So,
name is Don Kaysen. You guys can look him up. To be able to have a man of that prestige with that much knowledge,
so he'll be
don't
with
miss
us
it.
next week. So he'll give us a lot of information about what's going on.
Don Kaysen.
Kaysen, yes.
Yeah.
Kaysen. Okay.
Cason.
And these are the people that a lot of us don't know about, but they're the ones that make stuff happen.
Great heart for music.
Wonderful man. So we don't want to miss that next week. Well, thank you guys. We've gone a little bit over. Sorry for the mess up. Needless to say, we're not in our car. But okay, Bishop, after the conference, after the conference, we're gonna have to get back together. We touched on some real serious issues. I hope everybody enjoyed it. This will be on YouTube. It'll also be on Vicky Mac at Vicky Mac Latayan on Instagram. This conversation, this hot conversation. Bishop, anything else you want to say? What else?
No. Thank you. And again, just visit our website, thegin, THEGIN.org.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys again.
Next time. Pardon me? Was there something else?
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
What's up?
Thank you so much for watching Carfitable Talks.
Thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
leave some comments. Really need to hear from you.
thank you.